didn't play very much in the UC game because of fouls. Did not score a point. He needs to produce today.
We talked about Cochran, and he will be their leader.
He's the guy that has to be able to get on fire for this team. At 29 in his last game against Jacksonville. He's a real hooper, real good shooter.
Well, Xavier is doing something very special today, and the kids didn't even know about it until they walked into the locker room about 10 minutes ago to Tom. You can go there, make a bid through January 4th, and all the money will go to the Sandy Hook Support Foundation. Great idea.
That's an unbelievable idea. It's very, very sad. I mean, I just can't imagine it with 4 children. I don't know how these families get by without the support. I think it's a great thing that Xavier's doing.
Xavier with first possession. Taylor on the baseline. Trapped down there. Taylor just inside the arc. Pure jump shot from Travis Taylor.
Grant, we've talked about that. He just looks a little bit more aggressive, more confident. He has to become another option. You know, he can't just be the guy that cleans up the rebounds. He's got to be a go-to guy. It's a Wofford team that can shoot the ball. They're good outside jump shooters, and they play good, solid defense, too.
Had it knocked away. Aerris Smith saves. Drained by Collins, and he pulls in the triple.
Well, Collins will shoot that 3. He's shooting a little bit under 35% on the year. You have to extend.
Kristen has Cochran on him.
Xavier's got a height advantage almost at every position, except at the point guard position. I think they need to continue going inside, and that's exactly what they're doing.
Martin backs Collins down, but can't get the little floater. Swinton the other way. Xavier 11-2 against teams from the SoCon, the Southern Conference. Cochran lets fly on a triple, and they hit back-to-back triples to lead by 4.
Well, he's a South Con Frosh of the Year. This is a kid that really knows how to shoot the jump shot. Watch his release. He's very, very quick getting it out of his hands. He's usually one of the smaller kids when he's playing that 2-guard position with a point. So you got to learn to get that ball off quick.
Got a hold. They may have Swinton on this one as we take a look at Steve's keys, brought to you by Honda.
Xavier has to box out. They've given up 87 rebounds in the last 2 games, and they have to get the ball out. Wofford's very good defensively. You want to make sure you get down court before they have a chance to set up their defense. And Wofford needs to get in the lane against Xavier, maybe get him into foul trouble. And if Xavier is out pressuring them on the perimeter, they got to be able to handle that pressure.
Kristen, little touch inside the lane.
Nice to have that the other night in the final 15 minutes of the game. He's really adept at getting a nice inside shot. Not a great shooter, but a really good scorer.
Lee Skinner on the baseline against Taylor. He goes one hand. That won't go. And Fillmore the rebound. On the run. Kristen ahead. Lobs to Taylor, but he was in no position to take it.
But I like the idea. Getting it down in transition and getting down court before Wofford has a chance to set up that tough defense that they have. Wofford only gives up around 60 points a game, 58 points a game. It's a team that plays very good, solid half-court defense.
Indiana faithful out at the point now, number 2. On the drive, offensive.
We'll see right here. Stepping up, Justin Martin, taking that offensive foul. That's very important in the scheme of this defense. Help defense outside that arc, as you see. Now, if Justin Martin came over and helped inside that arc, it would have been a block.
Kristen working on Cochran. Taylor on the baseline. Working on Aerris Smith and gets the roll.
I say keep feeding him. Keep feeding him. Stay in that post. There's no reason to even shoot an outside jump shot until they figure out how to stop the inside game for the Musketeers.
Cochran with Davis on him. Collins lost it. Martin the other way. Eric Stanger in for his first minutes. Stanger working baseline. Got it to go with the left hand off the glass.
And Skinner cannot stop him on the inside. That's a nice move by Stanger. I think Skinner actually forgot Stanger's left-handed. Continue to get the ball inside and then open up the outside jump shot when they get Redford in the game.
Xavier back up by 2. On a 6-0 run. Faithful into the lane. Got it to go, and he'll go to the line. So Indiana Faithful out of Australia drains his layup to even it up at 8. 15:29 to go in the first at the Cintas Center.
Football coach and 2 basketball coaches. The basketball coach didn't leave to go someplace. He became the athletic director. So you talk about a school that's consistent, and they are consistently good in basketball.
Yeah. Well, you go a month without a home game, it wears you out a little bit. And they go their first 11 of 14 on the road. As we mentioned at the outset, their first road win in Jacksonville, and they tore Jacksonville up 29 for Cochran. Brad Redford in for his first minutes, and he struggled from outside the arc in the Classic at the U.S. Bank Arena.
Yeah, he played a position that it's tough for him to be that point guard. I think that you talk about the pressure defense that the number 11 team in the country puts on, and they go 11 deep. And they put on good defense, and they come out the picks, they switch them. But, you know, if Xavier can continue to go inside, Redfield will have some open jump shots.
Martin way off on the miss.
That's great hustle by Stanger. Sorry. I got excited. I thought Stanger was going to get that thing.
Skinner ends up with it. Jarrell Bird off to Cochran from deep. That won't go. Taylor pulls down the rebound. Davis wants to run. To the glass, had it knocked away and saved. Faithful coming the other way.
D. Davis fighting through every pick. They're setting picks for Cochran, getting him open. He doesn't need much to get him open with that quick shot and that quick release.
C.J. Newman, 31, in for his first minutes as well. Mike Young will play 10 Terriers. Faithful on Taylor into the paint. Had it blocked, and Taylor collects.
That was good half-court defense. Took the shot clock all the way down.
Off to Taylor from D. Davis.
That's what Xavier misses when you have your point guard is on the bench. D. Davis did a wonderful job of dribble penetration. And then Taylor, who's got this resurgence, he's got some confidence, really going to the basket strong.
Xavier back by 1.
Taylor has 6 of the 10 points for the Musketeers.
Cochran again from deep. That's off. Taylor collects another rebound. And he's building on where he left off from earlier in the week.
You could see his confidence building in that UC game and did not back away from any of the pressure. Played really tough, I thought.
Take a look at what he's done on the defensive end and then moving the other way.
And the shot clock was going down, Brad, and he played very solid defense. You know, didn't have to body him up. He knew he had the size advantage. Those are good minutes. 7 good minutes for Trav Taylor.
He'll take a seat. Justin Martin, who's struggling on the offensive end, will take a seat as well. Jeff Robinson into the lineup.
Got to throw that ball a little bit higher.
Inbound pass stolen. Bird the other way. Finger roll won't go, and Robinson the rebound. Inside, Robinson lost it on the dribble, had it swatted away by Smith. Swinton the other way. Swinton with Kristen on him. Bird steps up just inside the arc and throws up an air ball.
Bird's got a funky shot. You can see there was not enough rotation on that. Didn't draw iron.
6'6" sophomore out of Massachusetts. Turnover for the Terriers. And Landon Amos, the defensive specialist, will come in. As D. Davis takes a little rest.
You know, Brett, I'd like to see him go back in to Robinson. He's just got to gather the ball with confidence because he looked like he's being aggressive going to the basket. Oh, that's a nice move.
That's a pure shot from Kristen. It's interesting in talking about Kristen and the cramping. We had talked to him in the game that we did with them against Kent State. And even before that, he says, you know what, I cramped here at the Cintas Center. I haven't had too much of a problem on the road as he takes this turnover and heads the other way. And then at US Bank Arena had cramping issues. Down low to Robinson. Has to collect his own rebound, and he's fouled. But he says, I can't figure out what it is, why I'm cramping so much in this area. And obviously, that's something they're going to have to deal with. Kristen here with a nice move inside. They'll fade away as they should be.
Yeah, they should be. And Trav Taylor has 3 rebounds early on. Now, if you look over at the bench, Justin Martin is on the side trying to stretch out his ankle at the end of the bench.
The calf issue as he's standing up at the end, working on his left calf. Send it over to Jim Day.
Once they took Justin Martin out of the game in the previous possession, they took him underneath and retaped his ankle. Apparently twisted it slightly, as you said, standing at the end of the bench trying to work it out. Now he's sitting down. It doesn't appear to be serious, but it is something that's going to nag him today.
Justin Martin doesn't need anything more to nag him.
You know, and they need him to get in there and get that confidence going as you enter A-10 play. You know, he had gone every game scoring in double figures until the UC game where he did not score at all. He's very important as a consistent scorer for the Musketeers.
Without question. As we were talking about that, Xavier made 2 free throws.
Yeah, how about that one?
Which is a good thing coming off what happened on Wednesday night. A 3 for 14 performance from the line, shooting 21%.
And believe it or not, that was an improvement over the 0 for 8 that they
went 0 for 8.
To start the game.
0 for 8.
And you know, that was when they were winning the game and they had a chance to really build a lead.
I can't ever remember a Xavier team going anywhere close to 21%.
Well, I like this development right there. I like that. Jeff Robinson has to realize he has to play. The only way he's going to play is if he plays good defense, rebounds, but also gets, 6 to 10 points. That's 4 points for Jeff Robinson. He's the guy that made those 2 free throws. But he hasn't had many attempts because he hasn't been able to get in the offensive area to score.
Penetration, lost the ball. Cochran tried to save it and threw it out. Another turnover for the Terriers. An 8-0 run over the last 3 minutes as you take a look at 21.
And you know what? That's something he practices, so it's nice to have that ritual he just came off. It was muscle memory, squared up and knocked down the soft touch jump shot.
Well, they have met only once. We remember it very well, a triple overtime game. One of their assistants now, Cameron Rundles, tied it up, sent it to overtime. Xavier could not get it done, so it goes to the first overtime. Remember Dante Jackson on the second one? I still remember you and I screaming as that ball went in the hoop to tie it up, send it to a second overtime off McLean. Then Rundles again thought he had won it in the second overtime.
And you know what? So did we. But the thing I remember about that game is Noah Dahlman. Remember the big kid?
33 points for Dahlman.
Tough.
28 for this guy. To Holloway. Came back and won it for them in the third overtime. They got it done 94-90. That was early on in the year, and that was, again, one of the years that Mike Young took this team to the NCAA tournament.
He did a radio show earlier in the week, and they brought up Xavier, and he goes, yeah, that's a team we beat twice in that one game. But I'll tell you, it was, you never know. You play till the whistle blows.
Martin gives it down low to Fillmore, and he goes off the glass.
That's what Xavier has to do with the size advantage they have. Just get the ball, pound in the paint, and then open up the outside. You get Redford and Martin shooting some jump shots. Right now, they need to get that ball in the paint every time down the court.
Down low, Aerris Smith. They threw it away one more time.
And that wasn't
just to get a shot off.
That wasn't. They're not getting all these empty possessions, but you'll see right here, nice post up by Fillmore in the lane and a very good pass by Martin. And that's where Fillmore can help you out because he's very strong down low.
He takes his seat. Taylor back in. 5th turnover for the Terriers.
Terriers play a really solid half-court defense. They know how fundamentally to get over the picks and play tough man-on-man defense.
Taylor with a nice move, could not finish, tried to keep it alive. Collins the other way.
Good recovery by Xavier getting down in transition.
And we've got a foul down low. They will call this one on Redford.
Xavier foul number 12. That's Brad Redford.
Third team foul.
That's his first personal foul. 13 foul for Musketeers.
Collins will inbound down low. Brad will take a seat. Cochran rises up and gets the roll. It's a nice looking shot.
It really is, and he's got just a little bit enough fade away to get it over D. Davis. Davis has got quick hands, but Cochran's got such a solid quick release. And he is a scorer, and he can score any place on the court.
This one kicked. Will stay with Xavier. They list him at 6'1". That might be iffy.
He said,
the guard out of Marietta, Georgia. What are you going to say?
yeah, I was going to. Yeah, and I'm 230. But I maybe put 220 down. He scored in double figures 9 of the first 11 games. And really, they go as he goes as far as offense. And we've seen so many empty possessions.
Davis for 3.
Turnabout's fair play.
Davis, as we mentioned, cramped up on Wednesday as well. He went without Christian. He struggled against the press. They struggled offensively, as you mentioned in that first half, missed so many offensive opportunities and opportunities from the free throw line. He won't stop shooting, will he?
He will not stop shooting, and he's a little tired. He wants to come out of the game. But right now, Wofford only has 3 guys, Cochran, Faithful, and Collins, the only 3 guys that have scored. But Cochran is tired. And he gave the universal sign for pull me out, putting the fist in the air and pulling on the shorts.
Christian gets his dribble down just in time. Justin Martin lets fly. That won't go. Stanger keeps it alive. You like this hustle, don't you?
I do. I think you need it. That gives energy. I think as much energy as Kristen and D. Davis get, I think that Stanger does that with his hustle.
On the other end, foul by Martin will send Collins to the line. D. Davis from behind the arc lights up his first triple. Xavier with a 7-point.
Brad Redford will play whatever position you ask him to play, but he was called into action in the point guard position with D. Davis and Samaje on the bench. And that does the pressure defense is enough for both of those guys, but then add on Redford trying to do it by himself. Just couldn't do it.
Spencer Collins at the line makes the first. Freshman out of Easley, South Carolina. Their lone senior, Taylor Wagner, in for his first minutes. 3-point specialist.
Kid can shoot the ball. He's 4 for 4 against Davidson, had 14 points, so they're looking for some offense. Now with Cochran on the bench, he's getting a little bit of a blow. I don't think he'll sit out very long. Cochran averages about 30 minutes a game. Puts a lot of shots up there.
It's a lot of minutes. Redford lets go. May have been partially touched, just gets front rim. And that was deep, and he has struggled to get that shot that he's comfortable with, although he missed some wide open shots at US Bank on Wednesday.
And I think when you get those wide open ones, after working so hard and never being open, sometimes you rush those.
Davis hitting the chops. Justin Gordon set the pick and caught him right in the jaw. And he lost it, saved it himself.
Go back in, Taylor again, go inside. You got, there you go, drive into the lane. Get the ball inside. I love that. Nice move by Kristen. Kristen with 6 points. He's 3 for 3. Taylor has 6 points. He's 3 for 4. So got a 1-2 punch in Kristen and Trav Taylor.
Collins tries to save it. D. Davis had it knocked away as he tried to get the fast break to Kristen. Knocked away by the Terriers, and we'll stay with Xavier. Take a look at Kristen's drive again.
Well, Kristen is deceptively fast, and he's got great body control, taking it to the basket. Gets around his man, and then he'll be able to finish at the end. It's one thing to beat your man to the basket, but be able to finish high. It says a lot as Kristen goes back down. Not cramps, but I think you see him with a Powerade in his hand. Chris Mack getting him some bench time to make sure he's ready to go for the whole game.
Amos back in. Robinson back in. As Stanger takes a seat as well. Shooting has been good so far. And percentage-wise, this team has never struggled with that. But it is getting those in mass and getting the shots that they want.
It really is. And making sure you find the person or persons that will finish. You know, where do you want to get the ball? What's your game plan? Clearly, the game plan is to go inside, and they're doing a great job of it so far today.
Taylor on the baseline, double team. Redford, corner too long. Taylor the rebound.
It's tough when Brad's missing those shots, but you got to look at it. Taylor is coming to play. Taylor with 8 points and 5 rebounds really has been the dominant player so far in this game.
Backing up his Wednesday performance.
Brad, he just looks so much more at ease. That's a walk, but he looks so much more at ease. You know, taking his shots. I think a lot of time Trav Taylor looks to get shots when somebody else misses or whatever, as is the case right here. But I think that in that UC game, he was aggressive going to the basket, making his own play. He's so athletic, and he's been a good scorer his whole career.
Take a look at the turnovers so far.
Xavier's pressure defense doing a nice job, but Wofford's not doing themselves any favor on the offensive end.
Taylor again on the baseline, working on Newman. No call. There is a late whistle. He got the basket. And they will count it.
And get the ball down low. There's no way you can play man-on-man coverage with him in the lane. As you see, C.J. Newman is playing Olay defense.
CJ takes a seat very quickly. John Swinton, second foul on CJ. Indiana faithful will sit down.
Not all of them, just him.
Parents just like that. I asked whether or not there's a story. The sports information director says we've got to come up with one because it's asked so often. Parents just like the name Indiana faithful.
There's a lot of names I like, Fred.
That's not one of them? They're at their largest lead at 12. And the Terriers can't cut into it.
6 rebounds for Taylor. He's going for a double-double in the first half. He's already got double-figure points.
Davis working to Taylor again. Smith on him. And he'll work Smith. Back it in. Totally dominant.
And they're getting the ball inside him. They're looking to him. You have to ride the horse. And I'll tell you what, Taylor is doing that. Now, Xavier has to get Robinson in action when they have that double team. Taylor's got to look to offload that ball when the double team comes, and Taylor's got to be going to the basket.
He's got 13. Cochran with 10 on the shot clock, way off balance. Easy rebound for Robinson. There was nobody under the board in black.
Look at the basket, Jeff. You got to look at that basket.
Down low, Redford. Cochran on him, had it swatted. And Dallo Collins with the easy hoop. Timeout on the floor. Chris Mack will take one. 3:45 in the first half, and it has been working it down low. You talked about the rebounding. Travis Taylor is putting on a clinic.
11, 12, those points are from Taylor. He's really doing a great job, a yeoman's job on the inside.
If, by the way, you've just joined us and are wondering where your Xavier Blue is, as we mentioned at the top, Sandy Hook Elementary is the uniform in honor of those lost last week in Newtown, Connecticut. If you'd like one of these jerseys, go Xavier.com. They're going to be auctioned off till January 4th, and all the money going to the Sandy Hook Support Fund. 3 on the shot clock, and Kristen has to let fly.
You know, you talk about that Sandy Hook, and their mascot, the Eagle, is up on the scoreboard, too, which is pretty neat. So it has Xavier on the main scoreboard, and then on the side scoreboards and the end zone scoreboards, it has the Sandy Hook Eagle.
Collins in the paint with the dump to Cochran. That one was tipped. Smith the rebound. Can't get it. And Kristen the other way.
So Robinson, look at Robinson. There's nobody guarding him down low. You got to look at the big guy. Now when the double comes, somebody's got to be cutting the lane.
Pass too hard to Taylor to handle.
But that was a good idea.
You had the idea.
You got to cut when that ball goes down. There's a double team as you get the foul. Foul's going to be on
held
Collins.
by Collins there, Steve. 30-28, a 12-point lead. We'll take a quick break. 2:26 remaining in the first half.
Out.
Rather large.
I think it's rather large.
Steelers have to win to stay in the race. Bengals basically have to win, although it won't close them out, but a win gets them in.
Oh, that's just not, it didn't look pretty. Looks like Samaje is shooting it off his heel of his hand.
That's 0 for his last 6 at the free throw line.
I think he needs to fade away. Dribble up strong to the foul line, then jump back and fade away, because that's how he shoots a lot of his shots.
Cochran with the defense. Thought about the shot.
Well, Kristen's all over him. I'm going to call Redford for the foul, but I loved how Samaje Kristen was playing good defense on Cochran, making sure he didn't even touch the ball.
Second foul on Redford. D. Davis looking to check in. 15 foul for the Musketeers. Bird to inbound. Aerris Smith with Fillmore on him.
Oh, Fillmore's athletic. I'm watching him play, how quick he jumps out on the hedge and then gets back.
Cochran turns and fires. It's a 2. He was inside the arc. You talked about it as you watched him warm up, how quick his release was.
Yeah, and that's what happens. You learn that when you're growing up, when you're playing against bigger guys. And he was able to do that. He has 10 points on 4 of 8 shooting. We said it earlier. Samaje Kristen leads Xavier with 98 attempts coming into this game.
It will stay with Xavier.
And Cochran leads Wofford with 177. I mean, you're talking about almost 100 more attempts than the leader on Xavier's team. That's a lot.
It's a lot of shots.
Like you used to do that with the Hoodoos back when Walt Mayer was coaching.
It might have been a higher total. Down low, Taylor. He had it blocked and fouled. This one will go on Skinner, his second. Mike Young looking for some answers down in the paint. And he has none for Travis Taylor.
And, you know, I think this is really interesting. You know, we talk about this Xavier team this year as opposed to the last couple of years. This is a Xavier team that has to keep playing at a high level throughout the whole game. Just because you're up by 10 or 12 points, they're not a team that can take possessions off. As you look at Chris Mack, we saw that in the Vanderbilt game. You take a couple possessions off, or if you don't play good, solid defense, you can lose a game. So Xavier this year, it's going to be interesting how they close out. And I think it's as important, especially closing out the half.
Taylor makes a pair. He's got 15. He'll take a seat as Stanger comes in to give him a breath. Lead back up to 12 as we creep inside 1:10 to play in the first half. Skinner in the corner with Stanger on him. Bird lets fly inside the arc. Good looking jumper.
And that's the first person to really score outside of Faithful, Cochran, and Collins. So now they have 4 players that have scored for Wofford.
Justin Martin gets the friendly roll. Coming off the screen.
This is a Wofford team that played at Richmond and lost 64-58. So this is a team that can compete on the road, especially against other A-10 opponents.
Skinner lost out of bounds. It will stay. Shot clock is off. 18.8 remaining in the first half.
And obviously we talk about at the end of the half, you want to make sure that you don't give Wofford a shot. The worst case scenario is Xavier should be up by 12. The best case is they're up by 15.
Faithful with Kristen on him. Skinner with Stanger. Cochran turnaround and lets fly with 6 seconds left on the shot clock. Ahead. Stanger will let fly. Had it in the vicinity. Xavier will head to the locker room with a 12-point lead. They dominated down low, and Travis Taylor has built on the
Cochran open. And he has done damage to Xavier in the first half with 10 points.
So the Terriers with the first possession of the second half. Cochran clogged up in the paint. Collins with Martin on him. Skinner baseline. Fillmore with the defense. 10 on the shot clock as Cochran drives. Finger rolls. Taylor another rebound.
That was really good defense by the Xavier Musketeers, helping out, as Chris Mack said, coming out of halftime. There's got to be more guys jumping over and helping out on the screens. I thought Fillmore did a wonderful job in that last series.
Again, for those of you who may just be joining us, a turnover by Xavier, thrown over Travis Taylor by D. Davis. Frustration from their coach. New uniforms today, the Sandy Hook Elementary, in honor of those lost in Newtown, Connecticut. These will be auctioned off on GoXavier.com till January 4th, and all the money going to support those in Sandy Hook. Skinner, short jumper. Fillmore the rebound. They don't have a whole lot of offensive options out there.
They don't get the ball in the hands of Cochran. That's a good move by Fillmore.
Couldn't finish, got his own rebound, and lost it off his leg.
I tell you, when you watch the guys playing in the half court, you see Fillmore coming up and hedging to get back. That's what Chris Mack is talking about. Guys helping out. You see, that's not Fillmore's man. He's going over and helping out with Cochran. Watch, he knows where everybody is. He's moving around and playing like a zone in the lane, helping out his teammates. That's so important in the half-court offense.
Collins lets fly. And I mean lets fly. Smith the lucky rebound.
It was not good offense, but it's an errant shot that didn't hit anything. Lands right in the hand, Smith.
Fillmore on the block. Great cut by Kristen.
Another basket in the paint. Very smart move. You're getting overplayed. In the lane, you go back door. That has got to be an automatic move. For you young kids, if somebody's overplaying you and they're not getting you you're not able to get the ball, a quick move back door should be able to free you up.
Cochran hit on the arm as he lets fly. They will get Kristen. No, they got Justin Martin on this one.
You see, Fillmore has the ball, and then Kristen's overplayed by Cochran. It just goes straight back door. Very good recognition by the big man, Fillmore. And a good basketball move by Samaje Kristen. And that's something that, as a freshman, I think he's got some good fundamentals. Understands the game.
Second on Martin as Cochran goes to the line and drains the first. His 11th point on the afternoon. Good on both. They held him to 25% field goal shooting in the first half, did the Musketeers.
So important. Xavier keeps the gas pedal pushed down, continuing to be aggressive and do what got him the 12-point lead here in the second half. Trav Taylor still has not touched the ball this half. He's got to have the ball in his hands, but they are going down low to Fillmore.
Fillmore the fadeaway. Terriers on the run. Cochran from deep. And Martin the rebound. Ahead to Kristen.
Quick reversal.
Martin for three. Nowhere close. Ahead to Skinner.
I think Chris Mack's he's going to get a timeout. Guys are not sprinting back in transition. Getting the ball quick out on offense. Xavier is very, very consistent year in and year out. They go to the playoffs in football. They go to postseason tournaments in basketball.
You see that 1,600 enrollment. That is the third lowest in Division I. And it just speaks to the success of this team and what they built.
Local kid Brad Losing, a St. X product, had a great career at Wofford. Now he's playing overseas.
Good look down low. Lowest in Division I. And it just speaks to the success of this team and what they built.
Local kid Brad Losing, a St. X product, had a great career at Wofford. Now he's playing overseas.
Good look down low. Kristen couldn't make the adjustment.
Xavier 1 for 5 in the second half. Struggling. And they're going to get the foul on Redford, leaning into Cochran.
That will send him to the line for three, and it's Brad's third.
And you'd never want to foul the jump shooter. But you talk about Cochran. It's interesting. He's the third leading scorer in the SoCon Conference. Do you have any idea, and it's relative to this program, Xavier's program, who the second leading scorer in the SoCon Conference is?
Right now?
Yeah. Jay Canty. Yeah, Jay Canty, who transferred from Xavier, played here. Actually played in the triple overtime game.
How about that?
Yeah.
Good pull right there.
How about that? How about Brian Hunterman?
Strong.
Brian Hunterman this week told me that, and I looked it up, and I was like, no way. Good job, Brian.
Cochran good on his first two. He'll get one more. And a chance to creep back within 5. And he does.
Xavier outscored 9-2 here in the second half.
You talked about the foot on the throat mentality. Here they are struggling here to start the second half. And they won't call a foul. It will be Xavier basketball.
And that's interesting. The pressure was just one time after the free throw. It looked like it may have caused Xavier a little bit of consternation. So now Wofford going back into their man-to-man. Trav Taylor yet to touch the ball here in the second half. Had 15 first half points. There was no answer for him in the first half.
Ten on the shot clock. Davis lets fly. And that's long.
That's not a good possession. You have to try to get something better than a 30-foot jump shot.
Collins has it swatted by Taylor. 15:33 to go. And the Terriers have crept within 5. Back in. Down by 12 at the break. And Cochran continues to lead the way. He's now got 15, 5 second half points. And they have a chance to get it even closer. C.J. Newman in. Eric Stanger on him. Cochran lets fly. Triple. Bang. The lead is 2.
And now the pressure defense. Xavier's got to be able to handle this.
Taylor almost stepped over the end line.
Got to get the ball in the middle. Look down court to get guys open.
Kristen to drive. Dump. Stanger finishes.
Boy, that's a nice play by Samaje Kristen. Getting it and looking to make one dribble. And then to have Stanger cutting to the basket. Very nice play. That gets the pressure off pretty quickly. Now Xavier has to play some defense. D. Davis is all over Cochran. That's really good extension on that jump shot by Davis. The ball back inside to Taylor.
And he does.
He's low. He's deep right now. He should be able to score easy there.
And that would be the 6th assist for Samaje Kristen. And Travis Taylor now has 17.
But you know, did you watch the last, after that timeout, Kristen, 2 very, very smart plays. That's why there's so much hope for this kid.
Davis almost with the steal, lost his footing. Collins drains the triple.
Collins now with 10 points.
And they're finding some offensive options and down by 3.
And this is a team we've talked about has been a road warrior team. I mean, they're not going to go away. They play solid defense, and they can shoot the 3 ball. They're not shooting the ball well, but they have been able to knock down the jump shot. And their defense, when Xavier plays perimeter, is easy to beat.
Throwing it around, can't finish. Collins had it knocked away off his leg, and it will go to Xavier.
Samaje Kristen does a super job. Little jump stop, draws the defense for the easy flush. And then here, a nice pass. He was showing, Trav Taylor showed where he wanted the ball, was below the block. And when Trav Taylor gets the ball that deep, it should be a no-brainer. And he was able to finish. Trav Taylor with 17 points. Kristen with 6 assists.
Robinson and Amos will come in. 4 new Terriers on the floor to join C.J. Newman. And Xavier threw it away.
It's a turnover for Xavier. And what happened there is, I think that Trav Taylor was trying to time Robinson's popping out. Robinson got hung up on the defense. The ball was there, but Robinson hadn't popped out yet.
As we get close to A-10 play, big win for Temple today. Out of Madison Square Garden, they dropped number 3 in the country, Syracuse.
It was a big one. Right now, I think Wofford thinks they can have a big win here. Tie score. In that Temple game, Khalif Wyatt had 33 and Anthony Lee had 21, and that's a huge win for the A-10. So in the last 2 weeks, there's been number 1 and number 3 upset by A-10. Number 1 Butler beat number 1 Indiana.
Taylor Wagner with the 3 ties the game at 40. The Terriers with a chance to take the lead. D. Davis knocks it away from Bird. It will stay with the Terriers. Kristen back in for Brad Redford. And D. Davis will take a seat as Justin Martin comes back in. 16-6 scoring run for Wofford to knot it at 40.
Roy Amos playing really good defense. Actually, you heard the crowd. It could have been a walk.
Wagner again. That's too deep.
Well, Xavier's got to capitalize on the good defensive play. That's a foul.
Indiana faithful will get that. His first.
Good move by Samaje Kristen.
Fourth team foul on Wofford. Kristen inbounds to Martin. His defender had his back to it.
Kristen really racking up the assist. The last 3 buckets have been courtesy of the assist by Kristen. 7 assists on the game. And that was a big one too, because it was an easy bucket. Xavier struggles sometimes to get those easy buckets. That puts a lot of pressure on Wofford coming down the other end.
Wagner fires from 3. The late whistle and a foul called on Justin Martin.
That's the second foul by a Xavier player, fouling a jump shooter behind the 3-point line.
Xavier leads by 2. 3 ball from Wagner tied it up. For the second time in the last several minutes, Xavier's fouled a 3-point shooter. And Taylor Wagner will go to the line. Buries them all to give Wofford the lead. First one good.
He's a pretty good free throw shooter at 80%. Justin Martin still looking at the official.
Good on the second. We're tied at 42.
He's got a beautiful jump shot.
Fourth tie of the game. We've had 4 lead changes so far. Can't get it to go.
Maybe an omen for the Musketeers. They need to get down here and get something going. They got to play smarter half-court defense.
Davis into the paint. Up and under, can't get it to go. Ball batted and Wagner collects.
Wofford is not intimidated at all. As you see, the offensive foul called on Wagner. But they're not intimidated. This is a team that we talked about routinely goes to the tournament. They have a 5-6 record, but they played a lot of road games. And you see, they're getting back in transition, getting it down the court. That's good play by Fillmore.
Robinson will sit. Taylor back in.
I think in this possession, you have to go back to the horse, and that means get the ball inside to Taylor. Taylor's got to be aggressive. He can't sit there and wait for somebody else to make a play.
Good look to D. Davis, who's fouled by Faithful.
Another great play by Samaje Kristen. You'll see a play set up, a super pick by Fillmore. And that really, Faithful was trying to stop him from falling down.
Be good on the first. His 4th point on the afternoon, Steve.
The good news for Xavier is that they're shooting the ball pretty well from the free throw line. I think that's important, especially in a close game like this.
Good on the second. Back to a 2-point lead. Wright State and Cincinnati coming up next, so stay right here. 10 10.5 to play here at the Cintas Center. Xavier looks to bounce back from that loss on Wednesday night to the Cincinnati Bearcats. Look down low to Smith. He can't adjust, and it will stay with the Terriers.
This right now, the tempo of this game is leaning towards Wofford. Wofford is running the shot clock down to 10. They're moving the ball around. They're getting decent shots. They're staying in the game. Xavier's got to find some way of picking up the pace, whether it's full court pressure or starting to run in transition.
Wofford takes a timeout. Can't get the ball inbounds.
Fans, direct your attention to the video of today's profile. Xavier
Mike Young.
And a tribute to the local area here.
Let's send it over to Jim Day. Jim?
Hey, guys, that was a 30-second timeout, so Chris Mack spent it drawing up a play. But the prior timeout to that, he said only 2 things. He talked about intensity level, and he talked about communicating on defense. Then he just sat silent, looking at his notes, occasionally looking at the players. So it's not always yelling at the players. Sometimes silence says a lot. He was silent in the huddle like I've never seen a coach, and hopefully it sent a message.
Jim, thanks.
Well, when Chris Mack does that, you got to understand that he's a veteran coach. He knows that these guys are fragile, and they're a team that needs some support. Right now, he needs them to play hard. They need to get the ball inside. They have to look in that paint.
Taylor with a wraparound. It gets deflected to Justin Martin, and he shoots the air ball.
That looked like the Justin of last year, really dropping his head, not confident, wasn't confident in a shot. This is his second game back from that concussion, and sometimes it does change a little bit. You lose your confidence. He's got to find a way, and I think doing that, he should be penetrating and trying to get an easy shot instead of trying to rely on that jump shot.
I just remember the days that I've seen him shoot in practice, and you go, wow, this kid can really fire it. And he has a tough time transferring that to game day.
I agree, but he was doing it this year. He was very consistent early in this year, but now he's struggling. That's good defense by the Musketeers.
Stolen by Martin, but he steps on the end line.
That last possession, I think the crowd got upset because Wofford got the rebound, but Martin and Taylor both boxed out, and they both went after the ball. I have no problem with that. It's when they don't box out and the other team gets the ball. But I thought they did a really good job that time. It just happened that ball bounced off their hands into the Terriers' hands.
Redford and Stanger back in for the Musketeers. Slinton down low to Smith, working on Taylor. 7 on the shot clock. He goes with a lefty hook. That won't go. Smith recollects off the glass. That won't go. Got the rebound.
Wow.
Kristen the other way. Tried to lob it to Taylor. It will stay with the Musketeers.
I'm sorry.
This is a fighting Terrier team. So take a look at what they do on the glass.
Yeah, Xavier is having a problem on the defensive glass.
First few games of the year as he was a transfer from Florida International, and that is an air ball by Elson Turner up
in the second half, and so does Kristen. So the 2 leading scorers for the Musketeers in the first half not getting really involved on the offensive end, and I think that's something that has to change. Kristen is doing a very good job penetrating addition off with 7 assists on the game.
Well, Stanger started the year 0 for 7 from the free throw line, and we thought things had changed. He went 4 for 4 his next one before missing that one.
He's pulling off the line. When he sits there, he stays on the line and gets his arch on it. He can make it. He's got a nice touch. Free throw shooting is contagious, and it's mental.
So he goes 0 for 7, 4 for 4, now back 0 for 2. Let's hope the tide turns back quickly as Cochran lets fly.
That's unbelievable hustle.
And it will stay with the Terriers despite the disagreement from D. Davis.
Well, you see the long rebound, and that is just wonderful hustle by Lee Skinner, going all out. You know, he dove so he could get down low to get the ball and get some extension.
They say it was off Stanger.
And it was. Good hustle by Stanger coming over and helping out. You know, when you're playing against a guy like Cochran, it is very unnerving because at any one time he could just raise up and hit a three. And with this close of a game, you got everybody looking for number two.
See the drought. Great hustle by Stanger, and they will call traveling on him as he gained an improvement by rolling over.
But I didn't think he had possession of the ball. That was my only question. You'll see if he had possession. It's excellent hustle. Yeah, he did have possession.
9th turnover by the Musketeers.
One half roll too many. Good recover by Taylor.
Great block by Taylor, and Kristen comes the other way.
Xavier's got to put a little distance between this Wofford team.
Off balance, won't go. Stanger the rebound.
Keep Stanger in the game. I'll tell you what, this kid is playing hard. We're going to get the foul.
Newman will get the elbow foul.
Did you see the official when he went up to him? Newman.
His third. Smith back in for Newman. Bird back in as well. Collins will sit. Indiana faithful for Swinton.
That Newman, that is very similar to when you're playing golf and somebody said, you know, Noonan. Certain names just bring back that movie or that TV show. Xavier's got to look inside. Try to get something moving to the basket.
Kristen with Bird on him. Into the paint, double teamed, jump ball. And it will stay with Xavier.
You see a nice move in the paint. And that's good help by Cochran, but I'm not sure if he hit it long enough to be a jump ball.
Quick whistle. Davis inbounds again with the defender with his back to the inbounds pass, but Taylor can't convert. Off Stanger's foot, and another turnover for the Musketeers.
Well, it's right in front of Chris Mack, and he is not happy right now. And he's got to be careful he doesn't get a tee at this close of a game right now. But you'll see a misplay by Taylor and a good rebound by Stanger. The problem with Stanger, he's trying to throw it back one-handed. He's got to grab it, throw it two hands back, and reset.
Another chance for the Terriers to tie or take a lead. Down low, we're all tied up at 44. Good look to Lee Skinner, and there is uneasiness under 6 minutes at the Cintas Center.
Talk about identity. Who steps up in this game? Who's going to be the leader when it's tough right now? And there's one right there. It's a very nice jump hook by Trev Taylor. That is a big key in this game right now.
19 for Taylor to lead all scores.
You want to see who's going to be the leader. It's sometimes hard to lead from that pivot position, but that was a great play by Taylor.
Good defense by Taylor on Skinner down low.
10 on the shot clock.
Taylor helps on Faithful. Skinner, Faithful. Steps back for the three. Won't get the roll, and Taylor another rebound.
That was good defense in the half court. Redford extending out. That Xavier crowd getting on their feet.
Back-to-back double-double for Travis Taylor. 19 points, 10 rebounds.
And my feeling is you got to look at him again. You've got to go inside, because he has been unstoppable on that low block. And they're going to get a foul, I think, on Smith.
I think you're right, as Stanger was running the baseline.
You'll see this defense. Watch Brad Redford get out on the left-hander and extend without fouling. Reverse the ball back to him. It's out. It's an extension. Xavier able to get the rebound, and now maybe able to pad that lead a little bit.
Timeout on the court with 4:37 remaining.
8 here in the second. Now, last two times, and I'm sure Wofford's prepared on this, last two times Xavier's been able to throw the ball in without even the defense seeing it.
Inbound to Taylor. And a foul called as he goes up.
Well, you watch this play. Everything was set up for Brad Redford to go out and pop out and get the three. You watch him, everybody's setting up the pick, and then sneaking underneath. The play is designed for Trav Taylor. Everybody's looking for that three. I think that when you look at this team, there's no stud scorer. So everybody's an option on the out-of-bounds play. Ooh.
Taylor's first miss at the line, now 3 for 4 from the stripe. Team 7 of 11 after coming off a 3 for 14 abomination at US Bank Arena on Wednesday. Good on the second. The lead is 3. Another 3-point specialist in for the Terriers, Taylor Wagner. Kristen on the defense.
That's unbelievable defense.
And then threw it away.
Boy, he was all over him. That's good on-the-ball pressure by number 0, Samaje Kristen.
Davis on Wagner.
Nice shot.
They have some pretty looking jumpers, don't they? Spencer Collins drains that one to bring it back within 1.
But they run their offense so efficiently. They do a very good job, set picks. And they got guys who can throw it up. Shooting percentage from behind the arc. It's almost 38%. Everybody's standing around right now. There's got to be some movement on this offense. And Taylor's going to be open on that pick and roll.
Kristen into the paint. Offensive. Frustration from coach Chris Mack.
They help out by Newman to take the offensive foul. You got to understand where you are and what your goal is on a pick and roll. So 2 times you were able to get Stanger open. That's so important. And as he gets older, he'll be able to make those plays. But Xavier now up by 1 with 3 minutes to play.
Drained, and the Terriers have their first lead since 9-8. 49-47 at the 3-minute mark.
At that time, usually Wofford runs down the clock. That time it was right off of a pick and a shot. So I think it threw Xavier off. They weren't able to extend out.
Kristen to the glass.
Well, that was an aggressive move.
Yep. Call the foul on Skinner.
This was like set play out of the timeout. Kristen gets caught behind the pick. And then the jump shot by Collins. And now Kristen, a nice inside fake, and goes up and gets the foul on, is that Collins?
Skinner got it, his 4th.
It was a great aggressive play. You got to punch back.
2 points in the second half for Kristen.
Kristen has done a nice job scoring inside, but he has not done well a lot in the second half. He hit 6 first-half points. Missed both free throws. And Xavier now in a battle with the Terriers.
4 today.
Look at Kristen. He's not letting Collins do anything with that ball. That's 5 seconds. Wow. You talk about on-the-ball defense now. What upsets you is that where is that for the other 18 minutes of this half? You got to get something going. Collins could not even get a penetrating move to the basket. That is great defense by Samaje Kristen.
Timeout. Wright State at Cincinnati. The Bearcats at 11-0 as you take a look at the game reset.
Boy, both guys big posting up and low. You got to be able to feed that post. Robinson and Taylor were open on that low block.
Robinson in limited minutes today. Redford to the glass, dumps to Taylor. He'll go up strong with the left, but can't get it to go.
Faded away a little bit too much. That's one of those that you take one more dribble and power drive it, get to the free throw line. Now with 1:50, Terriers in control.
Cochran rises up, free throw line extended and gets the roll.
Cochran has 20. This is a kid we talked about in the pregame, said, you better get it going on him. Get out and play defense on him. He's been able to light up the Musketeers. 6 of 16 for 20 points. The time is of the essence right now for Xavier, down by 4.
Kristen is fouled out top by Smith. And Chris Mack wants to take a timeout. The last 9 times Xavier has lost in the Crosstown Classic, they are 8-1 in the game following, but the Terriers are trying to bury them today.
And that really wasn't a bad foul, especially the way Xavier's been shooting free throws. Samaje Kristen missed his last 2. You know, when you miss free throws the way that Xavier has done the last 2 games, it's almost like a turnover.
He missed it again.
Well, you can hear the crowd. They're booing. I mean, this is not a team that isn't giving effort, but it's a team that needs to get a little confidence.
You see the free throw numbers now, 8 of 15 from the line.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're having difficulty with the clock.
And we have a clock issue with 1:08 remaining.
I think every Xavier fan would agree with that. You'd rather have 5 or 6 minutes on the clock as opposed to 1. That is a clock issue. So I think there's going to be 23 seconds on the shot clock.
You are correct, sir.
I was counting in my head. It's important right now. As soon as that ball gets in, Xavier has to try to foul. Try to play good, solid defense. Don't let them get the ball. Have a turnover. As soon as it's in, you gotta foul quickly.
Inbound to Collins. Cochran has it. Over and back.
That's
what they called a carry.
Yeah, that's a bad turnover for Wofford. Just see good pressure defense as Xavier Musketeers. That was over and back.
Yes.
Definitely over the back.
So just as Xavier was going to foul, they get a break. 54.4 left on the clock. They trail by 4.
Here's the problem. Xavier is not, or Wofford's not in the bonus. So even if Xavier fouls him, it doesn't matter. And they gotta shoot a little bit quicker. They gotta get that.
Kristen
that could be.
Foul! Will they give it to him? Yes.
Samaje Kristen taking it to the basket, strong and able to use the glass. I love the way this kid uses the backboard. He's got great body control. And, you know, I'm telling you right now, if I'm Trav Taylor or Fillmore, I realize that he has missed, or now Robinson coming in for Fillmore. I realize that Samaje has not made a free throw in 2 games. I look, and maybe they're talking about it now, but I look to try to figure out where it's going to try to get that offensive rebound, because there's a good shot that it is not going to go in.
0 for his last 9. Trail by 2. 42.7 left on the clock. 0 for 10.
Enough time now. But remember, Wofford is not in the bonus.
They still haven't fouled. And a foul there on Kristen. Swinton, who is yet to score in this game and yet to go to the line.
And he's not going to go to the line now because that's only the 5th foul. And this is where you have a little bit of a problem. You got to foul quickly again. Shot clock is off. 25 seconds left. Yeah, that's one of those deals where you're wondering if they should foul at all.
And a foul called now. 6th team foul. Chris Mack wants a timeout.
Xavier foul number 22 has landed
They
Amos.
call that one on Amos.
That's his second personal foul.
24.7 left on the.
Collins. That's 6'10 against 6'4, so it's going to be hard for Collins to see. You got to make sure nobody gets that ball in. And if they do, foul them quickly.
They're 10 of 11 from the free throw line so far, and now they have to take a timeout as they struggle to get the ball in. The guy you want to foul, who is on the floor right now, is Aerris Smith, who's a 40% free throw shooter. Muskies trail by 2.
Wofford has 1 timeout, and the Xavier Musketeers have 1 timeout.
Inbound to Cochran. They will try to defend in the backcourt. And the foul on Collins. Amos commits that foul. He's a 63% free throw shooter.
That's his third personal foul, 17 foul.
There's still timeout if they do make both of these free, the 1-and-1, make both of them. But Xavier can get a 2 and still have time to win this game. But they have to be smart. Got to be ready for the first shot, first bonus shot. They miss it, you got to get the rebound.
Collins 2 for 2 from the stripe today. Up and good, nothing but net.
Boy, that's butter. That is beautiful. He's got a great touch.
A nervous laugh from Mike Young.
Yeah, you look at this kid, Collins. He's got 16 points. He's a freshman. He is having a wonderful game.
4 for 4 on the day from the stripe, and the lead is 4.
Got to get a quick bucket.
Redford lets fly. Timeout called. 13.1.
Tie this game, or if they miss a free throw, to win it.
Aerris Smith back on the floor, number 14. He's your 40% free throw shooter.
I don't think he's going to touch it.
They fouled Skinner. And now Skinner will head to the line. He's a 74% free throw shooter. Today yet to make an attempt from the stripe.
Xavier foul number 11 is D. Davis. That's his first personal
Davis
foul.
commits his first personal.
For the Musketeers.
The 8th team foul. Instructions from Chris Mack as he continues to tell his team what needs to happen, make or miss. So what are you looking for here?
I think that Taylor's got to get this rebound and get it in the hands of Davis. You got 11 seconds left. You have to get the ball to Samaje Kristen. You have to get the ball to Samaje Kristen, and he's got to be going to the basket. If it's a 2-point game, if it's a 3-point game, you got to drop it off to Redford and see if he can get a quick 3.
Skinner makes it 2. He'll have one more free throw.
See Redford off the lane because they're going to want to try to get him the ball if it's a 3-point game.
Xavier out of timeouts. Wofford with the possession arrow. Skinner makes them both.
Well, that's some unbelievable free throw shooting by the Terriers. Terriers are shooting over 90% in this game, 14 of 15 from the charity stripe.
This would by far be their biggest win of the year.
Swinton is going to guard Kristen, so it's going to be important. See, they're not even picking him up full court. I don't understand that.
Kristen takes it to the
He's
corner.
gonna nail that thing.
Redford for 3.
That is unbelievable.
We're tied with 7.4 to go.
Why would you foul him? I don't think Robinson knew how much.
He didn't know what the score was.
It's 1-1. Chris Mack's trying to get his team back together. They're out of sorts. You'll see this right now. This is just bad defense by Wofford. You knew it was going to be a 3, and you knew Redford just has that confidence to hit it. Now, look at it this way. They miss it. It's a great play by Robinson, but if they make it, this could be ugly.
I'm not sure there's anything that you can quantify that would say it's a great play by Robinson.
Well,
He
I'm saying
simply
if he
lost
missed
track.
He did. Well, I think what he said, I was watching his when he was speaking over there, he goes, I thought he said to make the foul, have a foul call. But I'm saying what I meant is if they do miss it,
Sure.
anything that works
Sure.
out, you feel for this kid. But you can't worry about it now.
Skinner back to the line. Just made a pair. Good on the first.
You'll see right here, he's fouling. It wasn't that big of a foul either, but just not a smart play.
Remember, the last time these two met, we went to triple overtime.
Missed it.
Just the second.
Drive, you got to get to the basket. You got to get to the basket.
Kristen does, and he's fouled.
Offensive.
Offensive foul. With 1.5 remaining on the clock. Take a look at it again.
You see the drive by Kristen. You'll see Collins. Well, I don't know.
He was falling even as he got contact.
That's what I was going to say. There was no contact. I mean, he didn't even touch him.
Amos will come in for defensive purposes. Redford to sit. 1.5 remaining.
If you watched the last time these two teams played, I would not leave my seat.
Inbound.
Ball has not touched anybody yet.
Swinton gets it and will dribble it out. And Wofford pulls the upset. 56 to 55. And there is anger with the referees who are hurried into the tunnel. As we saw it,